Going on, everybody? I'll start there. A little bit of Linux news we're going to cover real quick. Some of this is a little bit outdated. Some of this I just recently found out, so I figured I'd cover it. Now, we all know the SteamDeck got a price increase, kind of outrageous. And along with that, we know that the Steam Machine was released, and for its performance specs, it's also ridiculously priced. Now, in today's market, it's kind of 6 or half a dozen on whether or not, like, I understand why they did it, but anybody who's like a real PC gamer understands and knows that you can build a PC for the same price or less and get way better specs, way better performance. So this is a flopperooski. But one thing they kind of did that was kind of like their saving grace to kind of cover their butt is apparently they released SteamOS 3.8.10 to all users with like pretty much all hardware. So you can install this on your gaming PC. This is, and it's not, from my understanding, this ISO is, or this better be an ISO. This, if it's still the SteamDeck recovery image, which is actually what I have here. I was planning on maybe putting this onto some device and kind of poking around on it a little bit, but I think I'm going to erase this one and get the updated one now. But that was a recovery image for the Steam Deck. So I would have been putting like software that's not meant to be on a PC, it's meant to be on a handheld, so there probably would have been some issues and kinks and, you know, things along those lines. But hopefully this means that it's all going to be legit now, if it's an actual ISO. If it's not, you might hear some crap from me. Anyway, we'll just go over some of the key points here. You want to make sure that it's going to be 3.8.10. You don't want to be using this 3.8.9 or this 3.7 crap. Blah blah blah. This is all the steampower.com information. HDMI VRR support on all devices. There's some specific things here. Sorry. TLC TVs or whatever. It's not really what we care about right now. They updated the KDE Plasma from 6.2 to 6.4. HDR support, that's a big one. VRR. System firmware includes the Steam Deck. I don't like the sound of that. I don't want Steam Deck software on my desktop. Compatibility with Intel and AMD platforms now. Improved performance for discrete GPUs on your desktop. Wayland has become the default, but developers can still access the X11 if they need to. Updated the kernel to 6.16. Yeah, and I just got a couple other articles to kind of back up the information. So, SteamOS 3.8.10, now available for all users on Steam. KDE 6.4, kernel 6.16. Plasma 6.4, VRR, external HDR support. Intel and AMD platforms. Again, this discrete GPU performance increase. A lot of this is just the same old, 6.4, Wayland, 6.16, HDMI, VRR, HDR. But yeah, you can comb through and read all this for yourself. Pretty much just search SteamOS, the 3.8.10 in your search. You'll be able to find these articles. This one's playingtux.com. This one's opensourcefeed.org. Aside from that, Oh No, It's Alex also came out with a 24-minute video about it. He's kind of ranting and ripping Steam a new a-hole, Valve rather. With this particular situation, it's kind of justified. Definitely check his video out. He's a cool guy. The only other thing that I can mention is with this release, it's also kind of been an option in the past. Some people know about it, some people don't. But with the rise of the price of the SteamDeck, you may want to consider looking at some of these other like third-party handhelds. Especially some of the older ones, to get it at like a cheaper price. But like, you know, you can get like 24 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte for less than a SteamDeck. You know, like 512. I think this one's a 16 gig or something. Yeah, 16 gig, 512. HDMI adapter. But if I was to buy a handheld, this would be the road that I would be going down right now. Now I know by me exposing this, you know, people are going to start buying them, which is going to put the supply and demand up, which is going to put the price up. You know, it's kind of a downward spiral from there. But yeah. You know, there are some other different handhelds as well. You don't have to just get like this one in particular. You can do like a anyway, we'll just leave it like that. We'll just look at all of them. Now obviously, like the new and refurbished ones are going to have a high price tag on them. 1660p, bro, like, come on. But this is kind of the road that I would be going down if it was me, having to buy, you know, 120 hertz refresh rate. $144. So yeah, if you guys are looking into handhelds, this may be an option for you. You know, some people kind of don't want to deal with like used parts or used hardware and whatever. I get it. And if you're one of those kind of people, have fun paying these kind of price tags. Personally, I try to pinch a penny anywhere I really can. If you look at, well, we'll take my hardware into account real quick. This is another reason why SteamOS still isn't going to be like on my forefront. We got CachyOS here, KDE Plasma 6.7, current version 7.0. So SteamOS, while it's being released as a stable, well, they're using older versions to maintain stability, basically, and to keep the platform locked and to not have any issues. I understand why they're doing it, but I would rather be as up-to-date as possible. I don't quite install, like, every last bleeding edge driver and everything, so I'm not, like, constantly in betas and all that other crap, but I would like to be as current as possible. And then also, as I was saying about like used versus new prices and stuff, I built my PC when the 9070 released. So I knew that with that release there would be a price drop on the older hardware. I ended up buying this graphics card new. But going back to the used topic, my 5800X. Now I know again this is going to be kind of a controversial, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not telling you how. I'm not making. I'm not telling you how to, you know, spend your money or what to make purchases on and what not to. But this was a used processor, and on top of that, I got it even cheaper because it had like 3 or 4 slightly bent pins in one corner of the processor. I think this is, at the time, I think it was supposed to be like a $250 processor I got for like 80 bucks. And I'm trying to find like a tool that's comparable to what I used. I don't know if I have one that's nearby. But I use like a little handheld pick. I got a screwdriver over here I'm gonna grab. Give me just 1 second. Which one of those went to 95? I think it was the stream profile. There we go. So this is just a screwdriver, but if you can imagine something this size, that's a skinny, pointed pick. I literally just kind of like sat on the couch watching TV one night and just kind of slowly just kind of lifted up the pins and got them straight. And every now and again I would just kind of like check the motherboard socket to see if it would just drop in. And if it didn't, we went back to picking on it a little bit. Very light, not aggressive, very delicate. But that is an option you guys can try going down if you wanted, or if you are willing to take the risk to reward. But yeah, guys, that seems to be the gist of it and everything that's going on right now. Again, check out Alex's video. It's a good video. Cool guy. And we'll probably be doing a SteamOS install on the home theater PC shortly. We'll make some content out of that. I forget if I mentioned this earlier in the video, but this is a fresh install of CachyOS. I just did this the other day for content, so I gotta edit this video out. I'm gonna be like, or I gotta edit out like the load times and some other stuff, just kind of shorten the video. The raw video is like 1 hour and 40 minutes, which I think is a little too long, so I'm gonna try and cut it down the best I can while maintaining as much information as possible. I've also recorded how I built my 2 PC streaming setup and how it's all wired up and set up. I have that video made. I'll be releasing it after the installation, so that way the content that's being uploaded to the channel, you can kind of follow along with it. You can install CachyOS, you can install OBS, you can follow the video to get your OBS up and running. Like, you see how this is pathing out? I don't want to kind of like skip and jump around to where you have to like know what videos to watch at what time. I kind of want it to just be a simple flow. So once those videos are fully edited, I'll be uploading those. We'll do the SteamOS after that. And yeah, I think that's about it for right now, guys. You have a good one.